fifth grade mathematicians. Today we're going to be talking about customary units of measure with capacity. So capacity is how much liquid can be held. So in a cup we have 8 fluid ounces, and we're typically used to using cups when we talk about recipes and making things in the kitchen. So we have 8 fluid ounces in 1 cup. And then if we move a little bit larger than a cup, we talk about a cup, we think that 2 cups can fit into 1 pint. So this is a pint here in my lemonade container. How many pints do you think will equal a quart? Again, it is 2, so you'll find that that is a typical pattern. And then the next largest form of measurement of capacity is a gallon. So typically, you will see that 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. But then there's a half size. You've seen these before, I know you have. Milk cartons or done like this. These are both called half gallons, and half gallons will equal 2 quarts. And then of course, 2 half gallons would equal 1 full gallon. So you're going to take these notes in our measurement sheet that we've been using, but also during this flip lesson you're going to find that I'm going to put the conversion sheet up in the corner here so you can use it throughout the lesson. So here's a tip I use when converting measurements. So first you want to think about the measurements that you're converting. The measurement that you're starting out with, you want to think how that compares to the measurement you want to go to. So if you're starting out with a large measurement, you're going to go from big to small. And when I go from big to small, I'm going to multiply. Do you see the X like the multiplication symbol? But then if you're starting off with a smaller unit and you're converting it to a larger one, you're going to think small to big. And then that means you have to divide. So you think about your arms as the division bar and your head and your belly as the dots in the division sign. So that's my quick tip for how to convert measurements. Here's another way that might help you to remember the units of capacity. So I have my large G, and within my large G I can draw 4 Q's because 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. And then when I look inside a quart, I can find that there are 2 pints in each quart. Please excuse my sloppy drawing on my iPad here. So now I can figure out that within 1 large gallon there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pints. And within a half gallon, I could look at that. A half gallon being 2 quarts is 4 pints. So it's very easy to see and look at. Now I'm going to add the cups. Now that's where it gets hard here on the iPad. So you'll see that I'm adding 2 cups to each pint. And now I can look at the whole big picture and say, how many cups are in 1 large gallon? And when I count them all up, it's going to be 16 cups. Or I could say, how many cups are just in 1 of these quarts? And I could say that there are 4 cups in 1 quart, and so forth and so on. So here's how we're going to solve a capacity problem. So what if I have 28 cups and I want to figure out how many pints that is? The first thing you want to think about is, what is the conversion that I know that I can take cups to pints with? And that conversion is 2 cups equals 1 pint. So what if I have 28 cups? Well, I want to think, am I going from big to small or small to big? So I'm going from smaller cups to larger pints. So I know that I'm going to divide. So now I know that I'm going to be dividing by 2 because that's what my conversion chart shows me, and my original problem has 28. So what is 28 divided by 2? We all know that that would be 14. We can do that in our head. So 28 cups equals 14 pints. Now we're going to use our conversion chart to do this one. 7 cups equals how many fluid ounces? So I'm going to look over here at my conversion chart, and I'm going to note this conversion. 1 cup equals 8 fluid ounces. Now, let's think about if we're going from big to small or small to big. So cups are larger than fluid ounces. So that makes me think I am going from big to small. And when I go from big to small, I must divide.
or multiply. I'm sorry about that. Multiply. I wrote the multiplication sign. Wow. So what am I going to multiply? Well, look at the conversion chart information I found, which is 8. I'm going to multiply by 8, and I have my number from my problem, which is 7. So 7 times 8 is 56. So 7 cups would equal 56 fluid ounces. Now you're going to try one yourself. So here's your problem. You try it, pause the video, use your chart of customary units of capacity on the side, and then I will do it with you. So here we go. I'm going to think about what part of my chart am I going to be looking at. So gallons to quarts. That means I'm going to be using this. So 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. So now I'm going to think, am I going from big to small or small to big? Gallons is the largest that we have, so I'm going from big to small. And when I go from big to small, I multiply. Now I know that 9 is going to be in my problem because that's the part of information that I have. And now I have 4 quarts as well from my information that I got earlier. So 9 times 4 is 36. So 9 gallons would equal 36 quarts. I hope you got the same answer. So this is a really challenging problem because there's multiple steps because we're going from 32 pints to gallons. Now if I look at my chart over here, there's not a direct link between pints and gallons. But if I use my large G that I showed you guys earlier, you can see that you can count up the amount of pints to figure out how many pints are in a gallon. So if I do that, I know that it is 8 pints equals 1 gallon. If you don't know the big G trick, what you would have to do is you'd have to look at what we have over here. 1 quart equals 2 pints, so that's 2, and 1 gallon equals 4 quarts, so you'd have to go 2 times 4 to know that it is 8 pints. So, and that might also be a fact that you just start to learn, that 8 pints equals 1 gallon. So now we're going to figure out, are we going from big to small or small to big? And that would be small to big. So small to big, I'm doing the arm motions, if you can't see me, but I'm doing them, and that means that we're going to divide. Usually you can tell too, because if the number's pretty big over there, then you know you're going to be dividing. So 32 divided by 8 is 4. So my answer is 4 gallons.